It's Ketchup Packets.
Hey everybody, I'm Nate.
I'm Sean.
I'm Lewis.
And this is Ketchup Packets. Today we're going to be watching Severance, Season 1, Episode 1, called Good News About Hell. We have Lewis here today too. Welcome, Lewis.
Lewis is back.
Hey, glad to be back.
New show.
Yeah, new show, new stuff. Glad to hear it. And this one's only on Apple TV as far as I understand. So thank all 6 of you for joining us for this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe won't have as big of numbers, but you know, you can get a free trial of Apple TV and you can watch this whole series without ever giving them a cent and then cancel. And it's worth it.
So do that.
This is another one that I've seen, and I kind of got obsessed with this show when I saw it earlier this year. Nate has not seen it. Lewis has not seen it.
Nope.
So we have these two first-time reactors that I'm bringing into the world of Severance with us. So, yeah. What do you guys know about the show?
Quick synopsis of the base. I know the very basics. So I take it that the main character, who is played by, help me out,
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Love him. Couldn't remember his name, but he gets a job at a new company, and one of the things that you can do in this company is kind of create two. You can split your personality or your experiences or memories into like one of you that never is actually at work, and the other one is only experiences your time at work. And that's pretty much all I know. I assume that there's more to it than that. Otherwise, it would be that'd be a one episode.
Well, it's an extrapolation on that simple idea.
Yeah,
you know,
cool.
It's an exploration of what does that imply? What does that mean? You know, the ability to do that.
Yeah.
What do you know anything else about it, Lewis?
That's all I know. Everything I know is actually from what you were talking about when you got obsessed with this show. I know that there's like the conflict of like obviously being at work all on your like forever, which would be the experience of that version
not
of you
fun.
is that's terrible. And then I know that what I remember you saying was there's like this conflict of like you can quit, but only if the you that's outside of work is willing to quit as well. And why would they ever be willing to do that? Because
it's a good gig for them, you know?
Yeah.
They get paycheck and no work. Yeah, so I shouldn't even say any more because I don't want to give away stuff. This show is a mystery, you know, it's presented. Part of the fun is the unfolding of it, so anything I could say I'm afraid to give stuff away, so I'm going to try to stay mum for this one as much as I can.
Yeah, ever since you were sort of talking about how awesome this show is and that we should watch it for the channel, and that was a while ago, so I'm glad we're finally getting to it. I've been super stoked to see what this is about, because something about the office culture and then the sci-fi elements in there, I'm into it. Let's do it.
All right.
We have a Patreon. Check it out. It's in the description down below. If you want to do that, that's cool. If not, don't worry about it. And thank you so much for joining us for Severance.
Who are you?
What are you doing on the table?
Hello?
She looks like she fell or something.
I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Hi there. You on the table? I wonder if you'd mind taking a brief survey.
Who is that?
Just a quick survey.
Yeah. It's padded walls.
I'd be just thrilled to chat once we've run the survey. Shall we begin with question 1?
I'm not taking your survey.
Shall we begin with question 1?
Is that question 1?
Seems like the only course of progression is to take the survey.
Yeah.
5 questions.
What do I get at the end?
Your character
Depends on
sheet.
your answers.
Yeah, right.
Now to start, who are you?
That's the first question?
First name will do.
Oh, God.
It's okay. If you can't answer the question, feel free to say unknown.
What is this?
Okay, unknown.
No, literally no memories from the
U.S.
outside.
state or territory. Question 5, and as a reminder, this is the final question. To the best of your memory, what is or was the color of your mother's eyes?
Oh, this is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a character sheet.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, this is like
What's happening?
so much more terrifying than I initially had thought it would be.
That's a perfect score.
Oh, yeah, it's...
Whoa. That parking lot cry out of the way.
I think that's a common corporate experience.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I like these big open, like, overhead shots.
Yeah.
Mr. Scout?
Hey, Joe.
Not a cell phone, not anything, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just had to put everything identifying in that drawer.
How does he look both older and younger at the same time? Than he does from Parks and Rec,
Hollywood magic?
I guess.
I understand now why he was crying in his car. It'd be very scary to want to have to go into a place where you just like don't remember.
He doesn't have to go.
I guess not. That's a good point.
Thrown away. Yeah, nice.
Quite a sensation to be like, every time I walk into this place, I just don't remember anything that happened inside, and then I come out 8 hours later and
Think of it like going to sleep.
Exactly.
This is endless
fuck are
white
these
hallways. Yeah.
Yeah. Macro data refinement.
Wow. Those ancient computers.
Yeah.
Nice ergonomic keyboard, I see.
Good morning, macro data refinement.
Hi, Mr. Milchek.
Mark, could I have a word?
I love shows where it's obvious the set designers just had a blast.
Yeah, so much fun with this.
Oh. You look awful. You look hungover. Have a seat.
It's like, what?
I assume this is about me acting as department chief today. Okay, well, I mean, I've subbed for PD before, so it shouldn't be that big.
PD is no longer with this company.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mark. You guys were one of my favorite office friendships.
Weird.
I mean, there should have been some notice of this. What happened?
We'd love to tell you, but unfortunately non-disclosure policy forbids. We'd be aiding an assault on PD's privacy by you.
Mark asks at this time I confer upon you the freedom to serve care in the advanced role of Macrodata Refinement Department Chief. Congratulations. Oh, a handshake is available upon request.
Thank you. May I have a handshake?
Everyone here is acting like
I know
Like
you haven't run a
aliens.
training before.
Well,
Irving will be there to show
everything
you the
else
flow chart.
does not exist
Yeah,
for them.
that's true.
Depending on
The trainee becomes agitated and demands to leave. Skip to page 19.
She has to ask 3 times for you to let her.
Right. Yes.
Oh.
Images.
Bound by rules they're not told. That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
You're all set.
why start her on the table?
Yeah, you know, I don't
I
know.
just love seeing you all come in like this.
Sitting in a chair would be better than this.
Who are you?
That's also disorienting because, like, you feel like you should, as the person on the table, should be asking them that,
Who
you
are
know?
you?
Yeah.
But, like, it's almost like you and True, like, broke into this office and are, like, on the table, you know? They, like,
Exactly, yeah.
set
it's
you up.
But
Skip the preamble.
it's not supposed to be the
Yeah.
first thing he says.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I see.
it's exceptionally disorienting, but he did it wrong.
Yeah.
5 questions. Now, I know you're sleepy, but I just bet it'll make you feel right as rain.
It's so funny. I thought that line delivery was weird the first time around. I was
Yeah.
like, sounds like he's, like, reading off a script.
Well,
He is.
He is, yeah.
I was assuming there were like hypnotic triggers. I thought this.
Oh,
was,
sure. Yeah.
I like they show us the flip side of that interaction so quickly, and that he is like he has almost as little information as she
Right,
does. You know, like
exactly.
he's just reading the prompts. He doesn't understand it on a deeper level than
Shall
her.
we
Yeah,
begin with
right.
Question 1. Thank you for taking the welcome survey. I can sense that the questions made you feel afraid or disoriented. Well, the good news is you're at an orientation.
Oh, my God.
Before we hop on that, let's chat about something I bet you have heard of, the work-life balance. To start, imagine yourself as a seesaw.
Oh, that's
Can we just take a beat, please?
I wonder if that's in the binder.
There is a life to be had here, Helly.
A life to be had.
Well, you see, life, like a seesaw,
She's
Oh my
like,
God,
stop
yeah.
reading from the damn binder.
Let me the fuck out of here!
That's 3.
Yeah.
I understand you don't feel it's working out for you here at Lumen. While disappointed, I'd hate to keep you somewhere you're not happy. So let's get you out of here.
The gesture was in there
Yeah.
clearly. He changed hands with the binder.
Yeah.
Here's your stairwell, just past the bend.
You're not coming with me?
Yeah, I would be
I'm
super
not
freaked out. Just be like, just walk on through that door and this is all over. Oh no, is the curiosity kicking in here? No way.
No, she's just, I think, curious about why are they, okay, they're just letting
Yeah.
me go, but that was
Yeah,
so
right,
weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, damn.
What happened, guys?
She left for a while and then came back for some reason.
And wake up and come back in.
Am I dead?
No.
This isn't like hell or something?
No.
Then why the fuck can't I leave?
Well, you did leave just now. Out into the stairwell, at least. You left, but you came back.
I did not.
You did. Come on.
Yeah.
The good news is there's only one part left of your orientation, which Mark can't possibly derail.
Why is that?
Because it's a video.
She is very unpleasant. I don't like her at all.
Yeah. Mini disc.
Format that's hard to bring elsewhere, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You know, my mother was an atheist. She used to say that there was good news and bad news about hell. The good news is, hell is just the product of a morbid human imagination. The bad news is, whatever humans can imagine, they can usually create.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and have a seat.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It'd be kind of trippy.
Yeah, this would be, well, horrifying. I have no recollection of this at all.
I have, of my own free accord, elected to undergo the procedure colloquially known as severance. I will be unable to access outside recollections whilst on Lumen's severed basement floor, nor retain work memories upon my ascent. I am aware that this alteration is comprehensive and irreversible.
Jesus.
I make these statements freely.
There's such a grim look on his face, like he's...
Yeah, like he's seen people watch this 100 times and just been like, man, this is actually... Yeah, just the fear in their eyes he's got to look at every time.
Do you have a family?
You'll never know.
I have no choice.
Well, every time you find yourself here, it's because you chose to come back.
Yeah, I don't understand that part.
What do you mean, why they keep coming back?
I guess
It's
because
work.
they have no idea. Yeah, and I guess this...
Go to
They're
work.
never actually here in the first place, from that perspective, yeah. Of course, my thought as that version of myself would be, what the hell am I doing in there?
Yeah.
What am I participating in there?
Right, which raises the question, what compels people to sign up for this?
Yeah, oh, interesting, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, they have to...
Congratulations on the gift card.
Yeah, you got to explain injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, trash comes tomorrow night. Tonight's recycling. Yeah, it is weird, but that's how they do it. And with both yours, there's no room for...
So it's like you undergo the severance to free up, not having to go to work so you can just enjoy your free time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like his home life is very fulfilling either.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
Hey.
did you forget?
Ye-
He was trying to say no, but then realizing he couldn't remember.
And all. This is nice. When did you get it?
It's from work. I apologize.
Oh, they apologized, thank God. Did they happen to tack an explanation onto that
It's
apology?
fine. Got a gift card.
Oh, you got a gift card.
Yeah, I know. She's sitting there being like, this is all bad, bro. Really?
Ugh, you, sir, look at peace.
The hell kind of greeting is that?
Rick had told Rebecca and me that you're a former history professor.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for your take on all of this. The food, v life of it.
Well, I'm not sure. I taught mostly about World War One.
I was just reading this think piece about the comparative levels of violence and warfare throughout history.
Oh, nerd alert.
War porn, I know. But anyway, in it, he said that the people actually called it the Great War. Apparently, it would have been a faux pas to have called it World War One.
All right.
Because they would have been like, what do you mean, one?
No one would have called it World War One because World War II hadn't happened yet.
Wow.
Of course.
Yes.
It's so true. This is why we bring this guy.
Oh my god.
Educator as well.
This conversation is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Literature.
But Mark is a Lumen man now.
Right? Really?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Do you design the medicines?
No.
I thought Lumen was more on the tech side of things.
They began in the 1800s.
Really?
Topical cells, right?
Well, Mark's work is sensitive enough as to require the severance procedure.
It seems like something you don't tell other people. You tell only as the person.
That's
who
not
has
your
it.
thing
Yeah.
to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also, I think, something that's his choice to tell people or not, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
No,
Oh god.
No,
Mark, please
no,
forgive
it's
me,
okay.
Mark.
I
My
don't care.
apologies.
Can maybe see why Mark didn't really want to come to this.
Yeah,
I
right.
wish I could do it. I just don't grasp the visceral element. What does it feel like?
God, these people are insufferable.
Yeah.
Well, it's simple. One's memories are bifurcated, so when you're not at work...
Yeah, you explain. Go ahead.
What it is you do there. So in effect, that version of you is trapped there.
Well...
I mean, not trapped, but...
About what?
Right. I'm glad he finally
I'm curious
spoke
what you
up.
would
It's
say,
like,
but not trapped, but what?
how about stop telling me about me, please?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for taking that job. I really am. And I think she would have been too. I know she would have been. I just feel like forgetting about her for 8 hours a day isn't the same thing as healing.
Huh. Alternative motivations, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I think justify it to yourself a little bit easier if there's something you want to forget.
Yeah.
The twin is comfortable, and the pajamas were made on a Baltic hand loom, so you'll sleep well.
Thanks.
Who are these people?
Yeah, exactly.
His sister and her husband and his friends.
No. I grasped the relationship.
I didn't. I was like, why are they here?
That child.
That's his brother-in-law.
Yeah, okay.
If
Oh,
you provide
Jesus.
said child with all of its beds upon birth, you allow it to progress across the room at its own rate.
Got it.
Again, who are these people?
Yeah. Very strange.
Well, the world they inhabit seems to be a bit odd.
Yeah.
I think people really enjoyed you tonight, Mark.
It's a weird way to put that, too. What is wrong with him?
Ready, baby?
What planet are these people from? No wonder he's so, just not weirded out by the people at work, either.
Well, he has no frame of reference. He does. The guy at him at work does not know these people.
Yeah.
They're all space aliens.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not creepy.
Yeah, right.
Oh no. Bleed. It's bleeding over.
Oh.
Oh no, I assume that's Petey. Or would make sense.
Very interesting.
Mrs. Selvig, tonight's garbage, and you keep putting your bin on my side. Excuse me.
Hang up.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Selvig. They've cooked the food and it's here.
Right, kids. Your voice is different here. Worse.
Okay, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, how about some exposition here so we can
from work.
not feel weirded out by the fact that you're sitting there.
Okay, well, severance is pretty permanent.
Yeah. Bypassing the implant wasn't easy. I had help.
So, you've unsevered, and now you... Do I think they're after you or something?
Yeah. They being Grainer. Who's probably out here right now.
Grainer, okay. Is that, like a person you know? Or...
We both know him. We don't like him.
It's gonna be so frustrating for Petey to have him not
Come on,
know him.
Dude,
You know?
get with the program.
So, we're friends?
I'm your best friend. You're my very good friend.
Ooh.
Throwing some shade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mark, sorry about the card. I had to grab something and I know it's not appropriate. Though I'm sure you'd be a really fucking awesome niece.
I think you're wasting space on saying this stuff, Petey.
I used to think it would take a monster to put someone in a place like that office. Especially if the person was himself. If you don't want to know what's going on down there, I won't force it. But if you do, there's an address on the back of this card.
How could you not want to know?
Right, exactly.
Go along.
I think I'll skip it.
Mark, is that you?
Oh, hi, Mrs. Selvig.
Oh, will you color me
Is it
embarrassed for the mix-up with
his
the
boss?
bins?
No, it's no problem.
Oh,
How was dinner?
it sounds like her.
You know my mother was a Catholic. She used to say it takes the saints 8 hours to bless a sleeping child. I hope you aren't rushing the saints.
Good night, Mrs. Selvig.
Mark? You're good people.
People in the plural.
Does she know?
Yeah, that's sort of the question. Is she kind of keeping an eye on him, or is she just as severed as he is?
Because everybody who lives in that complex...
What does her face say right there?
Not much. Her face is kind of like that. Kind of stoic.
Well, episode 1 of Severance in the bag.
Yeah. I sort of thought, I obviously had a couple of hints as to what the show was about in the the first place, so maybe I'll talk a little bit about like my expectations versus the reality of it. And I thought he seems to be the main character, but I like that they introduced, what was her name, Helly, first.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be about his own severing, would kind of be like the first episode, but it kind of seems like he's been there for a while. And it was also interesting because I had assumed that this was sort of a little experiment that only this company was doing and that it was sort of a secret. But it sounds like everyone at that table knew what it was.
Yeah, they mentioned congressional hearings.
Yeah. Well, they said that they could tell where he stands on the congressional goings-on based on him sort of defending his own severance. So yeah, it's implying it's before the government. Yeah, it's something people know about. They've all heard about it before.
There's discussions about, the morality of it and all these things. But I guess I was pleasantly surprised by that stuff, because there is sort of a question now that's arising in my head about, like, if this was presented as an option, there would probably be like a good amount of people who would be kind of down with it. There's lots of people who are like, I do my job because I have to. My coworkers they're fine. They're like perfect. We have no problems necessarily, but I don't like love my job and I don't love my coworkers. And if I could just kind of turn it off for 8 hours, I would.
Exactly. They do it for the paycheck, and they don't feel as though their work or what they're doing while they're at work is actually a part of what they consider their life. It's a thing that they need to tack on in order to have their life.
Right.
And that's sort of what this, and this is just that taken to an extreme. I think the show creator talked about he got the idea for this show when he worked in a door factory. And he just had the notion every day when he would start work of, boy, I wish I could just zip to leaving at the end of the day instead. He's like, he took that as a sign that he was not at a job he should be at. He's like, if you're having that feeling, it's probably not a place you should be. So, I don't know. That's...
Alternatively, if I meet a new person, sorry, Luis, I didn't mean to interrupt, but when I meet a new person and I'm, and I'm learning about them, like, what they do for work is honestly not one of my first questions, or not something that I usually like glom onto, usually like their interests and stuff. And later on, if I'm like, oh yes, I met this new person, oh cool, like, what do they do for a living? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't ask them that. What they do to put food on the table and like put a roof over their head is not really the first thing I want to know about somebody new that I just met.
I think our culture and our society is structured like that.
Yeah. But also, like, I mean, you can't escape, like, what you do for work is, well, you might not rank it as an important, it is like a vital part of who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's a huge chunk of your waking life.
I mean, like you just said, he got the idea while he was working for the show. Exactly. So, like, that's...
Exactly.
And I liked the little, like, in case you didn't get it, moment with where they're having dinner without dinner. Right? Like,
I guess I didn't even really consider, like, them. They're making that little commentary about, like, also he's kind of, it's what puts food on the table, sort of. I mean, that wasn't explicitly said necessarily, but it was sort of this, like, it's a huge fundamental piece. It's kind of like in a capitalist society like the one we currently live in, it's kind of like eating food or like paying your bills.
It's
or like
thing you just need to do.
You just have to do it every day, and if you don't, you die.
You got problems.
It becomes a huge issue. So
exactly.
Yeah, and it's also like there's obviously like very, very explicitly alienating you from your labor idea that's going on here, and I think that's interesting. I really like the dinner scene, because I always love in sci-fi when society has just gotten weird.
Yeah, right.
Like,
well, if you just try to think about what people from several decades ago would view our society or
Right.
our interactions as, they'd probably see it as equally strange or as what the hell are these people talking about and stuff. Or
Yeah.
things that seem like common knowledge to us are novel to them. And, it would, I definitely feel like it seems like it's really over the top, but I bet it's more accurate than we would even realize, in terms of what a future conversation might look like.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like implausible. I'm just always interested to see what people think is gonna be the thing, right? Like,
and just like also, I feel like there was like a comedic piece to that. Like it was a little bit over the top on purpose. They wanted to introduce these people as being like unquestionably pompous, and like so just the whole conversation about like it was improper to call, they called it the Great Wars. It
would have been a faux pas.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
no.
well, that's absolutely a ridiculous assertion to make in the first place. But it does sort of echo, I think, how people now talk about some things in the past where they're like, did you know that like they didn't they didn't even eat pancakes. It's like, well, they hadn't figured out how to make flour yet.
I love that example.
Yeah, I don't know. But you know what I mean. It's
wonderful.
Yeah.
I get it.
Back in the day, we had to dial our phone numbers in each individually. Can you believe such a silly thing like that?
I still have a bunch of phone numbers memorized in my head that like I needed to dial when I was a kid before all the numbers were programmed in, But anybody's number who I learned after that time don't even know the first three digits, nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that, so scenes like that dinner scene and, just like the outside world in general seems to have a vaguely future aesthetic to it, like the near to medium future, whereas their equipment on the severed floor is very retro. It's like old computers and TVs and stuff like that. But the severed workers have no frame of reference for what is or isn't modern technology. So I guess the company would just be whatever works and costs the least,
Yeah.
Well, you also pointed out when the orientation video, or rather the consent video was on a mini disc, it also kind of severs that the ability to bring information between those two worlds. Right? You can't slip a USB drive to yourself and expect to be able to use it.
Yeah, the computers down there don't take USB sticks, and anything you can take from down there isn't compatible with stuff you have up at the top, maybe, is how they're doing it.
The moment that you realize, like, I own a smartphone, and if I could get that in here, this whole thing blows up. But
you've agreed not to take it in there. The outside version of you is doing all this voluntarily, so you abide by the terms. Mark shows up and he puts all his stuff in that locker and he goes downstairs because that's the job.
Yeah, right.
You can't bring this stuff in. The outside you is not working to free you from these circumstances. The outside you is the enslaver, is the one who put you there. It's enslaving yourself essentially.
Right. Yeah.
You guys have any predictions or questions about where you think it might be headed for a season?
Interesting. Well, I think that we're definitely going to learn more about what exactly they're doing, and I have a feeling that it's going to be much more insidious than picking random numbers from a grid and putting them in a folder. Like whatever it is.
You're not playing bingo?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not Minesweeper. It's something really bad, and that's part of the reason why. I mean, they can't ever connect the dots. That's the thing. It's like part of what the Severance... Like, it's all well and good that they created a thing where it's like, your work life doesn't have to interfere with your home life. But then also it's like, it creates a situation where, like, if you're doing something outside... If what you're doing within the company is affecting outside the company, and you're like actively assembling something that then you could see out here and be like, oh my god, I can't believe that I contributed to that. That those two things could be completely separate.
But with the way that it works, though, like the severed employees they don't have the frames of reference necessary to understand what the work is accomplishing. Like they don't know anything about the world. Like even if you explained it to them, they wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing about it. I think.
Yeah, and the way they were describing Lumen as like a mega corporation,
pharmaceuticals and science tech. They said pretty much.
Yeah, and so
that's a very big umbrella.
Yeah, so like you have no idea whether anything you see as your non-work self has anything to do with what you see in the real world. Whether that has anything to do with your work.
Right.
Yeah.
And now Petey comes into the diner and says to him, everything they tell you about what goes on down there is a lie. So that would be very reassuring.
I feel like, though, being like on the outside, just being like, I don't know anything about what lie. You know, what are you talking about? I don't even know anything that I do at all. So
yeah, they haven't told him anything. I guess that's true.
But I also think we're gonna see more. We got to see more Petey.
Oh, of course, yeah. He's the big dangling thread, you know. He's the catalyst for everything to come out of the stasis it's in and a story to unfold. So yeah, that about do it for this week?
I think so. I'm super excited to see the next one, man. This is super interesting to me. I love this kind of stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Join us for the next one. Thanks so much for watching this one. I'm Nate.
I'm Sean.
I'm Lewis.
This is Ketchup Packets.